Hello, it's Dawn Michelle from Boho Tarot, and today I wanted to share with you some of the new goodies by the creator of the Ink Witch Tarot. So as you may know, if you watched kind of my reflections and my wrap-ups from 2021, had to think what year this was, 2021, I had talked about the Ink Witch Tarot and how it's kind of become one of my favorite RWS inspired decks in my collection. There is just so many wonderful things about this deck, so many really insightful depictions of the cards that I just absolutely love, like this Five of Cups with this empty fountain where the water's not running. I mean, I just think that's beautiful. So I love this deck, but there are some cards in here that, you know, I've kind of struggled with. And I mentioned that in my walkthrough of this deck. I've also mentioned it in, you know, as I've worked with it and kind of my monthly reviews where I've talked about working with this deck, have also edged mine in this like kind of beige color to match the backs. So much fun. But, you know, like, it's not a perfect deck, right? Is there any such thing as a perfect deck? No, if you want a perfect deck, you got to make it yourself. I'm working on that. Side note. Anyway, so I actually reached out to the creator because somebody had mentioned on one of my videos that he was working on some expansion cards. And I was like, how do I not know this? I love this deck. So these have been sent to me from the creator, just in all transparency. So let's go ahead and jump into this. I want to show you the extra cards. So on the left-hand side here, I have the cards that came with the original deck. And then on the right-hand side here, I have the new cards that Eric has created. So we have the original Lovers here, which I do actually quite like. I think it's beautiful. I love that we have some diversity in the sexuality, which is wonderful. And we have a couple of different new Lovers cards. So let's take a look here at our new Lovers cards, the variations that we have. We have a female version, and then we have some animal versions. Now the only thing, my only quibble is that these ones are very blue and the rest of these are kind of like a little bit more on the beigey tone, and so I'm hoping they don't stand out too much in the deck if I want to switch some of these, which there's only like one that I know for sure that I'm gonna switch, but oh, that Lovers card, I don't know. I love the one with the birds, so I might have to switch that out. But okay, here's our original Lovers. So here we have our original Lovers, where we have our two masculine figures here, and then we have our new Lovers with our two feminine figures here. I think this is great that we have both now. We have options for both, so I think that that's really wonderful. Although I do really like this Lovers card. Animal energy is something that I've been getting into more, and animal cards are definitely something I've been connecting with more. And these two Lovers are beautiful. And I kind of wish though that they were in the same like color palette, because these feel more blue and these are more beigey, but I really like this one with the little birdies. Okay, but I mean, this one's super cute too, but decisions. I don't know which one I will be putting in my deck, to be perfectly honest, because I think they're all beautiful. And so I want to maybe I'll, you know, switch them around. So that's the updated Lovers cards in the new expansion pack. So you get the 3 Lovers, and then this was the original one that we took a look at. So here is our original Devil card, and I do quite like this one as well. I think it's beautifully depicted. I love that it is, looks like the same people that we have in this card. So I love that we can see both sides of that, right? We can see their energy reflected in the Lovers, but also in the Devil, maybe showing the shadow side of the Lovers, so to speak. I think that's quite interesting, and I really enjoy that about this card. But we do have some new Devil cards to choose from. I like that it's a little bit more open, a little bit more fluid. I do love that we still have the snakes and we have the fruit there. I think that's quite lovely. And I do think that that's a wonderful representation for the Devil. But then we have this one, And again, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is an awesome devil card. We have the snake coming down between the two animals there. It's just beautiful. This one makes me smile. And I'm not even like a huge cat person. But if you had, like, where did they go? Where did they go? We're playing here. Look at this. We can see, there's our original. We could even see maybe here. Are these the same? Maybe they're the same. Maybe I wasn't paying that much attention. I love this, that we have the lover devil balance there. So here's our originals. We're playing, obviously. Can you tell? This is what we're doing today. Okay, these ones are the originals. The original lover and devil. Then we have the new lovers and devils. These lovers and devil. And then we have, oh, the cute kitty devil with the birds, which just, I mean, that's kind of cool, right? That is kind of cool. So we have that pairing here in the original edition. And then we have the kind of new pairings here with the new lovers and the new devils. So I think that's really cool because you could pick and choose whichever kind of combination works for you. If you want to kind of reflect the shadow energy, maybe as kind of we're doing here, or maybe you want to mix and match. You want to use the lovers from one, the devil from another. Maybe we want this lovers and this devil, and we can go with that as well if we don't want any people, and I think that's quite wonderful. Okay, so the one that I am most excited about, this is the original High Priestess, which I get, but didn't really thrill me. Just in all honesty, I get it, but it didn't really thrill me. And the High Priestess has been updated to this version, and this is what she looks like here. And this, to me, speaks of the High Priestess energy. That really embodies that idea of intuition, of inner knowing, and I will definitely be like swapping this card out. I feel like this High Priestess card, this was the biggest disconnect for me on the whole with the whole deck, right? The card that I most was disconnected from is this High Priestess, and now I have this one that I can put in there, and it's just going to make the deck so much more resonant with me, and I'm really excited about that. So next we have our two Justice cards. So this was the original Justice, which I do really like. I love the idea of we have kind of all these protesters in the background. I think it very much speaks to the energy of what's going on in the world today. However, this Justice card is quite beautiful, and it does really tie into some of the other imagery in the deck, where we have kind of that mythology type of energy represented in the deck in some other cards, and I think this one works beautifully as well. I might switch these ones around just to, you know, kind of switch things up a little bit, just a little bit something different here in this Justice card, but I do really like the original Justice card as well. So another card that has been included is a revised King of Swords, which I have over here on the right. This one is the original King of Swords, where we have King Arthur. You can see the idea is the same. This one I think is just a little bit more refined, the new one. You can see the line work's a little bit thinner, a little bit more refined. Arthur, or the King of Swords, looks a little bit more grown up in this card, a little bit more kingly, which is wonderful. And I think that that does work really well. I might swap that one out as well, just because I do like to see a little bit older, much more mature people in my kings and queens. I don't often get it, but I like to see it. And so I'll probably switch this one out just to give me a different, little bit more grown-up perspective on the King of Swords. This one always makes me think of the Disney movie, The Sword and the Stone. It always makes me think of that. And so I do kind of like this more grown-up, refined energy for the King of Swords. So another one that I really like the change to is the King of Pentacles. This was the original, where we have the 4 kings and playing the card game. I think that works. I do get the reference there, but this King of Pentacles with this dragon, it just so much cooler, right? I really enjoy the imagery in this. I do get a little bit of a Wandsy fire energy with this King of Pentacles, but that's probably just because I kind of associate dragons more with that suit. But I think it's beautiful. He's got, if you think of Pentacles and the dragons as being, very, very long lived. That's a very pentacle-y energy. And so I think that does work quite well. So these are really beautiful. Both of them are really beautiful, but I do really like the King of Pentacles in this one. Those were the new cards that we had here. We had the new King of Pentacles, the new King of Swords, our new Justice, the new High Priestess, our new Lovers and Devil combo, and another Lovers and Devil combo, and the Cat Lover, Cats and Birds, Lovers, Devil, and combo. So I have all my original ones over here. So let's choose. What are we gonna put in? Definitely putting in this High Priestess, because now what I'm curious about is if I put it in here and I shuffle, am I gonna catch any noticeable difference between these slightly different color palette? So we can pull the High Priestess. And so Devil and Lovers, I, for fun, want to do the Cats and the Birds. There are other cats in this deck, although I am super tempted by this one, but we're going to pull those aside. And I'm going to have to make a little pile for my extra Inkwitch, cards. I'm going to try this Justice for a while because I think she's really beautiful. Again, this King of Swords, that little bit more grown-up energy, and this King of Pentacles, swapping out for that one. So now let's give it a shuffle because I do want to see, I need to edge them. Oh no, do I still have that marker? I think this is what I edged it in, 942. Shall we see? Shall we see? Hopefully this is correct, because otherwise I'm coloring the card the totally wrong color. Just a little bit of deck modding, a little bit of card swapping. We are going to take a look at the guidebook here in a minute. Okay, totally sacrificed a journaling marker to do that, but now they're all the same, so I won't be able to tell. Are they the same size? Yep. So they should blend right in. Can I remember which ones I put in here? Let's give it a nice shuffle. This deck shuffles beautifully. Okay, so let's see if I fan it out. Is it apparent? Is it apparent? Can I pick them out? That one's kind of blue, but that's an old card. This one? Oh, there's one. Okay, so there's the Devil. And this one I can see is the King of Pentacles, but I could just see it. So that one was totally cheating. Yeah, I feel like this is one. And this is one. I feel like for the most part they do blend in. I feel like the line work is a little bit thinner on the new cards. Like it's just a little bit more refined. But I think it does actually blend in really well with the rest of the deck. Okay, so now let's take a look at hardback guidebook. I am so excited to have a companion guide for this deck because there's so many interesting things going on in this deck that I cannot wait to see what the creator intended for it. So we have all of the cards listed out here along with the page number. That is fantastic and very appreciated. Here we have a little bit of an introduction about the Inkwitch deck. Tarot does work. I agree. I don't really know why or how. I mean, I kind of do, but it just works. Like it's one of those things you just don't question. So he has a little bit about, you know, what each of the suits mean, what the court cards mean, which is wonderful. Is a little bit about working with standard cards and reversals, spreads, just wonderful. And then here we have the glossary of cards. He says, I recommend to not hang too tightly onto this guide. It's available when you need to reference something and when you're trying to learn the cards for the first time. However, I always suggest trying to exercise your intuition. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Okay, so here we have the Fool. We have a full color picture of the card in here, which is wonderful. We have an upright and a reversed. We have a little bit about what is going on in the card, which is fantastic because that is really what I wanted to know about. That's really what I wanted to read. What was Eric thinking when he created these cards? A little bit about what this card might mean when it appears in a reading, some advice. Here's the reverse. So it looks like we have about 2 pages for the major arcana. Let's just see out of curiosity which. So he does have all the original cards in here. So here's our minor arcana. Again, we have upright and reversed. We have a little bit about what his impression is of the card, what the imagery shows, and the reversed, which is fantastic. So I'm really excited to dive into this and to read what he says. Let's go to my favorite card. Just because we're here, we're playing. My absolute favorite card in this deck is the Five of Cups, and that is usually not a card that I love in a lot of decks, right? It's a challenging card, but I absolutely love the depiction of this empty fountain for the Five of Cups. So let's just go ahead and read what he's written here. So we have upright is mourning, grief, regrets, trouble in the past. Reversed is setbacks, forgiveness, moving on, wallowing, and dealing with the future. This is a card that is usually about the past. The image here is of a graveyard overgrown with weeds and brambles. The fountain, with its 5 tiers to represent the cups on this card, isn't flowing. Like the graveyard around it, it has been left in the past. Yet there is also a sense of peace here, melancholy though it may be. The graveyard is untouched now, quiet and calm. This card usually indicates a sadness or a grief from the past and is often a reminder that it can be hard to let go of the things that have hurt us. This card may be telling us that we have regrets about something we did, or that we're still mourning something that is no longer actively affecting us. It represents loss and the need to adjust to that loss. I love that. As advice, this card could indicate the need to forgive or to embrace change. This card may be telling you that you spent too much time dealing with the pain of the past, and it's now time to work on moving forward by forgiving ourselves and others and making emotional adjustments. It is also a reminder to look at what we do have. The graveyard here is overgrown. From death comes life, and even if we are grieving something, we are likely to still have things we feel thankful for. When this card appears in your reading, it may be time to focus on those things instead of your sorrow. How beautiful is that? So reverse, it says this card becomes a message regarding that forward movement. It's no longer just a card about the past, but one about the present and the future. You may be in a state of transition, working to overcome something that hurt you, like a breakup or a past failure. Alternatively, you may be in such a position but are struggling to overcome some hurdle that's in your way. You may be having difficulties forgiving someone. You may be wallowing in your feelings even though you know it's time to pick up the pieces. The important message with this card is that the past is just that, the past. It transforms us and we can learn from it, but it can only stall us when we let it. This card is a reminder to grow from failures and losses, to take time to mourn if you need to, but eventually you will have to move on as a stronger and wiser version of yourself. That is beautiful. I really love that. I love that whole empty fountain graveyard energy for the Five of Cups, but I love that he also points out that, you know, the graveyard is overgrown and from death comes life. The 5 is not the end of the suit of cups. And so we know that there's more growth that's going to happen after that because we move through the 5 to the 6 of cups, which is wonderful. So yeah, I'm really excited to actually sit and read this book. Again, I love so many of the depictions and interpretations. So I am really excited to work with the new cards. I think those are going to be really fun, but I'm also really excited to read this guidebook and to see, oh, there's that 5 of Cups. I could have had that on the front. To really see what he has intended with all of these cards. There's that new High Priestess. It is just a stunning deck, and there's so many wonderful things. I just really enjoy the depictions in it. It just really does resonate with how I read tarot, how I work with the energy of the cards. It's just really beautiful. Yeah, just there's the new King of Pentacles, the new Devil, that new King of Swords. So yeah, I particularly love the Suit of Cups in this deck. They're just, I think they're fantastic. But anyway, I do have a full walkthrough of this deck on my channel if you're interested in checking it out, but I did really just want to share with you the new additional cards that you can pick up, as well as the guidebook, which are both available on Eric's website. I will leave a link for that for you in the description box below if you'd like to check it out, as well as a link to my full walkthrough of this particular deck. Again, that's the Ink Witch Tarot. I want to thank Eric for sending me this beautiful book, the extra cards, and all these cute little buttons. Look how cute these are. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you again soon in another video. We're here. Clearly, I have nothing better to do in this 5 minutes than sit here and color my decks, which I love doing, so it's totally not a waste of time for me. Okay. I mean, who doesn't love to edge a deck on a fly? Yep, that marker's totally dead. So, dang it. Do I have another one? I think I do. 942. Jackpot. Except for, this one is my, it's my actual like journaling one, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because that's how much I love this deck. I am willing to sacrifice a journaling marker to edge this deck. Oh yeah, now I can actually see it. Duh. But does that tell you anything about how much I love this deck?